At long last, the review embargo for Captain Marvel has been lifted, and the early critical verdict is... meh. At least that's what I'm getting out of the reviews that I'm seeing. Welcome back, everyone. I am the Cranky Old Geek, the COG. I know it's been a while, and I tried to make this video several times over the last week and a half, ever since Rotten Tomatoes removed the audience interest score from their website, which, in my opinion, was due directly to try to preserve Captain Marvel's opening weekend gross, which I have already predicted. I have here in the official Get Woke, Go Broke envelope, sealed with gaffer tape, a figure that I am projecting for Captain Marvel's opening weekend gross in the U.S., and after looking at some of these reviews and some of the feedback from critics, I'm thinking that my already embarrassing figure for the MCU's opening for this is probably optimistic if things play out legitimately. After the weekend numbers are in, I will come back with a video and we will see if I was right. But on to these reviews. In spite of an 85% current Rotten Tomatoes critic rating, if you read these reviews, even the positive ones, at least what I've seen out of the 178 total reviews at the time of this recording, the positive ones seem to reflect less on the actual quality of the film. Let me back up. The quote, the review quote, seems to focus less on the quality of the film than it does on the fact that Brie Larson is in the first female superhero-led movie for the MCU. That is literally what they are focusing on. I mean, let's look at some of these. I'm not going to share the screen, it takes too long to do it, but I have the top critics tab pulled up in Rotten Tomatoes. We have, let's see, from the Denver Post, Larson can turn a moment as slight as walking into frame and blowing a strand of hair out of her face into an uproarious, powerful visual beat. I don't get this is a good movie out of that. It seems to focus on her. David Edelstein from the New York Magazine, at full strength, Captain Marvel is a goddess emitting her own light, an astral version of liberty at the battlements, sublime and terrifying. I don't know what that means, but it sure doesn't sound like he's trying to tell me that this is a movie I want to see. And this was the subject of the video I kept trying to make, and something kept getting messed up, one reason or another, is Brie Larson's mouth aside and her comments about all the white men in criticizing movies and whatnot, and how this movie wasn't made for them, and blah, 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 blah. I felt like this movie was marketed horribly. Or at least the trailers, it didn't show me a movie I wanted to see. My impressions from the trailers was meh. And that's what I get out of these reviews that I'm just paging through. Obviously, I'm not sitting down and reading all the reviews word for word. I am taking a lot of what Rotten Tomatoes has at face value on their webpage. But they rate these ratings with a certified fresh or rotten, and it's interesting that some of these that have the same score, one of them they rate as fresh and the other they rate as rotten, which doesn't make any sense to me. Sounds like they're trying to fudge the critic score, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. But there's sort of the rotten critics reviews, or the rotten rated critics reviews, if you will. They say the types of things that I judge from these trailers. And some big publications, Rolling Stone, that one was a fresh one. They said you could ding it for convoluted plotting and a retro style that flattens the usual Marvel fireworks, but a dynamite Brie Larson gives hell to cosmic villains and sexist trolls. there it is. Reviewers can't just say what they like or dislike about a movie. They have to throw the agenda into it because I don't know, they want to make sure they keep getting paid, I guess. They got to go ahead and toe the line that's been laid out for them. Get woke, go broke, I always say. But yeah, let me see if I can find them again. Time Magazine. I remember I didn't see their actual score that Time Magazine gave the film, but I had watched another video. I want to say Time Magazine reviewer Stephanie Zacharek is the name here. Their score was like 40%, 40-something percent out of 100 is what they scored Captain Marvel. Her quote here is, Larson does get a few opportunities in Captain Marvel to be that regular, flawed, but strong human. There just aren't enough. She gets a few opportunities to be a regular, flawed, but strong human. There just aren't enough of them, and they hardly focus on the movie. Or they're hardly the focus of the movie. Damn, I can't read. Some of these... Us Weekly. You expect Time and Us Weekly and who else did I see in here? Newsday. New York Post also have a rotten rated review. The character, even when kicking ass, is a total bore. That is a recurring theme out of these reviews. That is a recurring statement or recurring quality that I saw in the trailers from Brie Larson's portrayal of Captain Marvel, at least in trailers. I haven't seen this movie. I don't plan on seeing this movie. At least I sure as hell ain't paying to see this movie unless something unforeseen happens. So, anyway, critics. And the critic score is still 85% here in Rotten Tomatoes, and I really do think some of that is being fudged. I really do. But we know that it's not uncommon for a critic's rating or critics' opinions to be vastly different from the audience, so we will see what happens when the shill SJW crowd has their opportunity to lay down their money to try to fluff the gross for Captain Marvel, which is, by all impressions that I can see here, a very flat, very boring, not as good MCU movie as we're accustomed to seeing. But we will see if my prediction, and I tell you that this is a very embarrassing number in my opinion by MCU opening weekend gross standards. So we will see. But that's all I really got for now. I'll get back to griping about Star Wars soon, and we'll be talking about Captain Marvel a little more after these numbers are up. And that's really all I got right now. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe and everything else if you enjoy the content. It really does help the channel, and it really does help me. Thank you very much, and I am out.